We're back, everybody.
We're back.
We are back.
Let's do it.
Yep. And before we start this week's movie, Derek, I watched 28 Weeks Later.
Oh.
Okay. You seem confused. Yeah, that's what we did. That's what we did last week, remember?
I literally thought we were going to talk about the Democratic Party this week. That's why I wore this hat. But no, I think you're right. Let's go. Let's talk 28 weeks later.
Never talked about politics once in this podcast. Maybe once.
Are you sure this wasn't the episode dedicated to the Democratic Party?
No, I think we got that in plan for our Patreon subscribers.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we usually do.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, guess we'll just talk about 28 weeks later.
I guess we're talking about 28 Weeks Later.
No, you came for the politics.
Yeah. God, edge of my seat the entire time. Just like pure intensity.
Have you seen World War Z?
I have seen World War Z.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like this better than World War Z.
Whoa! Didn't see that coming.
Yes.
Honestly, didn't see that coming. I did not ask him that to set that up. I did not know he was going to say that. Because I like World War Z better, even though I love this as well. But that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they both... I will say this. Both of them... Here's what got me the maddest during this movie. Dude. This whole thing is the U.S. Army's fault.
Yeah, definitely.
This whole thing is the U.S. fucking Army's fault. First of all, this is all I could think about after the movie. First of all, there's a virus.
Yes.
That kills all of Great Britain.
Yes.
The people who don't get out are all fucking dead.
Yes.
You're going to need a little more than 28 weeks to let people back in. You should probably... you should probably wait. First of all, at least a year for sure.
If you're not just going to let it go altogether.
Yeah, if you're not just going to be like, oh, fuck, dude, Britain's kind of done.
Yeah.
At least a year. Where you send in, you have military there, and they send, they're watching the island, they're monitoring it, because they should have found. Also, the fact that they let people back in without doing sweeps of London and making sure there's no people left.
There should have been no one left.
There should have been no one left.
First off, I mean, every house should be burned. Everything should be burned, right?
Right.
Every single thing burned to the ground.
Right.
Complete ash.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah.
It's a virus. I don't know. It's a virus.
And you know it's not airborne, but you know it's like touch works with it. All the clothes have to go. Everything has to go.
So you gotta just burn it. You gotta literally
burn it.
and like that. Like I'm talking like nuclear. Like probably drop a bomb on it, right? Like just destroy it.
Yeah. Well, if you're trying to salvage it, you probably won't want to nuke it, but like firebomb it, probably.
Probably firebomb it.
Probably. That should have happened before.
If not twice.
Yeah.
If not a definitely good cleansing, and then let's just just for good measure.
And definitely don't let people back in after 28 weeks.
Yeah. How many? What is it? Like how many months is that?
It's like 4 months. Right?
So
No, it's a little more. It's like 7 months.
They waited a solid winter.
Yeah, no, a little more. They waited like
7?
a winter and fall. It's like 7 months because it's like 4 weeks to a year.
So they waited
4
like
weeks to a month.
a good. They waited a whole school year.
Yeah. A little less. But still a little less than a school year. But they just let people back in. It was wild. And then it was clear that they didn't have any kind of protocol to handle if something broke out. It took like 3 days for everyone to be wiped out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there was no protocol.
Shouldn't the protocol have been like a mass nuclear bomb? Like even if you're like Idris Elba, you're like I have to kill myself.
Yes.
Like everybody dies.
Yeah. Also, there should have been someone guarding her door. Right? The husband shouldn't have been allowed in. And second of all, it was a locked room, right? Where the husband kisses the wife and then turns into the zombie that fucks everything up, right? It was a locked room, right? Meaning, whoever discovered them had to open the door for him. It was a room that was locked by keypad. And like the window wasn't broken, so someone had to let him out. And then on top of that...
Well, they didn't let him. I think they opened the door trying to get in. Like trying to like see what happened.
That's fair. Fair. But then... he kept on attacking army guys one at a time.
Yeah.
Which means their protocol was to send one guy at a time. And not like a unit, not like this...
Also, they didn't shoot.
Yeah. They didn't shoot. They apparently ran in with their guns not out. Yeah. During this code red situation.
Also, it's their fault, because I like a zombie. I like a zombie that turns immediately.
Yeah.
I love a movie like that. Like, I'm talking about nigga 3 seconds. Bam!
So if there's one that turns immediately, there should be a tier of teams, right? If the first team goes, everyone dies.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. When I don't even know if there's even tier 2, bro. A virus like that where everybody turns to that fast.
Yeah.
And then also there's like pure rage and pure strength and like all these kind of things, like the World War Z thing where it's just like, where it's just like, oh, they're. It's not like Walking Dead, nigga, where you can kind of maneuver.
No.
This is like, no, you got to kill them all immediately.
Yeah.
This is a one-shot deal.
Yeah. Also,
You're absolutely right.
you herded everyone back in to that room, right? You herded everyone back into the room. And then you don't post an armed uniform at the back door.
Yeah, the back door had nothing there.
The back door had no armed presence there. And that's where the zombie got in.
He walked in easy.
He walked in. And then on top of that, your firebombing did nothing to kill all the zombies.
Nothing.
So it's like, what plan did you have? The U.S. Army had no plan.
Idris Elba.
They don't listen to the major when she has the kids and she's like, let them go through. That's like, that's some chain of command shit. You're supposed to listen to your major.
They were like, oh, code red, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, what? Yeah, they deserved all that.
This whole movie was the Army's fault.
Jeremy Renner was a badass.
Yeah. Oh, my God. And then they burned that motherfucker alive. No questions. No questions. That was the time. That was the time for your no questions policy.
Burned him to a crisp.
Yeah. Yeah. And
what'd you think of her death? Just gun to the face.
That was rough. That was rough. That was rough. And then I think what you said at the end of the thing where the boy infects his sister.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Has to.
That has to have happened. She didn't have the 2-colored eyes.
Nope. She was fucked.
She's fucked. She saved her brother. Why? I guess, I know why, but still. Also, she was not a very good actress.
No, she was really bad.
Yeah. Especially towards the end, there were a couple times where she just, like, at the end, like, when they're in the car being shot at, from the helicopter and, right before they enter the subway, she just screams out, they're shooting at us. It's like, that's not helpful. I think they know.
Yeah, they were shooting like helicopter rounds too.
Yeah.
Those rounds that go like zoom, 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 zoom.
She's like, oh no, yeah.
Bro, those kind of rounds, bro, you speechless. Those kind of rounds are so scary. It's like, nigga, you can't even believe you're getting shot at by those kind of bullets, dude. Zoom, 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 zoom. It's like, yo, this is what they shoot at like submarines.
Yeah, right. And you still can't kill all the zombies. Yeah. And then, and then at the very end, I remember her screaming her brother's name and being like, "No!" when he's running off in the subway.
Yeah.
No, don't, no. It's like, what is this? Who are you? You know why I think that my theory on why they cast her is because
she fucked Harvey Weinstein.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that wasn't my theory.
I might just do a guess.
Okay. Well, my theory is that so the whole point is like if you have the 2-colored eyes, because him and his mom had the 2-colored eyes and they weren't carriers, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't turn into zombies; they were just the carriers.
Yeah.
Right. That's what they. Yeah. And I think they chose her because she had such piercing blue eyes that it was their way of saying like, oh, she's gonna get infected by her brother. She
did have piercing blue eyes.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. None of her family has blue eyes.
No, the mom had weird eyes and the dad had dark eyes.
Yeah. So I think that was their way of being like, this lady gets infected and you have to put it together because her brother has weird eyes and she doesn't. Yeah. And this is a movie. Yeah.
You're a dick.
You know what I wish that they did the whole movie that they only did for the beginning half? When they were showing the city through security cameras. Beginning of the movie, they had these shots through the security cameras of the movie, right? Because there are security cameras everywhere.
Yes.
They just stopped that at a certain point, and I missed that because that was really cool. And I thought, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, Derek totally didn't mention that some of this movie is shot through security cameras.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
But it almost like it wasn't. It was for the first 15 minutes, and I just stopped.
Yeah.
And it would have been really cool to see zombie chases through security cameras where you can't see the sound.
Woo, that's pretty intense.
That would have been really intense. It would have added to that. And to me, it seemed unnecessary to stop doing that. Like, artistically. Artistically, I was like, that's a weird choice to stop. It's like, because I was in that. I was like, oh, I'm going to see some zombies, see some security cameras, and that's going to add to the whole thing of it. And it's like, oh, man, there's no reason to stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that sort of like the found footage type shot. I like that kind of shot.
Did you like this movie?
Yeah, I very much liked it. I very much liked it. It was.
That's how he talks, cuz.
I did like it. I did enjoy. I had a lot of fun. It was very gory.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was probably the movie I had to look away the most. I think.
Really? Because it's kind of goofy gory. It's like not like real gory like Kill Bill or shit.
Oh, Kill Bill's kind of goofy too. Everything is
but it's more like
over the top.
I guess
When he kills his wife, that's why I had to look away.
that was more gritty.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
Also, why was he like a different kind of zombie? Why was he the super aggro zombie?
Yeah, his zombie was fucking.
Yeah, right.
Well, the other zombies, it was weird because it was weird seeing people like. I like that though. I thought that was a different take. That like the zombies didn't just bite you; they fucking beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Because I saw it was just like if you watched during the scenes where people are attacking, they were like punching in them and shit, and it's like, oh, that's fucking hilarious. I thought that was at least me. I thought that was such a cool take on this. I've never seen a zombie
like
beat
bite
your ass.
Yeah.
Fuck biting you. I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna fucking get you with some fucking John Jones kicks.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna bite you.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the zombies were genuinely terrifying.
That was scary, dude. A zombie that fights you?
Yeah, it was what made this movie dope. You know, it was fun to mention all the problems with it, but what made this movie dope is like you were in it. You were in it from the beginning, and the stakes were high, and the villain was genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, that dude was scary.
Just the zombie in general. The villains were genuinely terrifying.
What'd you think of the opening scene? Right? Because it's the opening scene that to me is like it takes the movie because the movie immediately starts at this 10, like at this 12, and then it kind of falls as the rest of it goes. But it starts like what?
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know if they could follow it.
It didn't. No, they couldn't.
Yeah.
Even the first time. I mean, that's great because the first time I ever saw it, it was like I watched the beginning like what the fuck, and then I watched the rest of the movie like. Okay, this is good. This is really good. It's a really good zombie movie. But that's what it didn't hit me like World War Z. I thought World War Z had a little more heart, or especially I Am Legend. I Am Legend is still probably my favorite.
I Am Legend
that's
is
my favorite
better of those three. I Am Legends is the best.
I Am Legend is the shit.
Yeah.
God, we've done 3 zombie movies. No, we haven't.
No, we haven't. We didn't do
World War Z.
I've watched World War Z before.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think we just talked about it because it came up in I Am Legend episode, and then now it's coming up again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we did. This is our second zombie movie. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like where the let's see though, the I Am Legend, it's a cure for fucking measles or cancer or some shit. It was and then this one it was
just a straight up
just virus for Britain. So fucking get better, Britain.
Yeah, I also did like the aspect of the humans contained it, like it was already contained. Like
it's different.
This movie had a lot of things going for it.
Yeah,
and if the U.S. Army was any bit of smart, this whole movie wouldn't have happened.
I like that they blamed the U.S. Army. They were like, no, we're not gonna say it's the British Army.
Yeah, or like it's in a U.S.-led NATO force. Like, wait a minute, you put this squarely on us for no reason.
Yeah, why is this on us? They didn't have to do. It's a specific choice.
Yeah,
it's in Britain.
Also, main character Scottish, not British.
Funny.
Yeah, you were doing the wrong accent.
Funny.
And that is 28 weeks later. What's up, guys?
Hey, what up, bro? What up? We need some music.
We do.
We need music.
Some kind of theme song.
Yeah, man, we're gonna get music for y'all, bro. We're gonna have it so it doesn't start, so y'all know.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know that there's like a beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get some fucking music. Mm-hmm. Or we'll get like a spinning head like Joe Rogan.
We just get Rogan spinning head. That'd be really funny. Try to get these listeners any way we can, buddy.
Hey, bro, we out here, man. Hey, and everyone listening, as always, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We love you, and we hope you're the best. Other than,
the black ones.
To be honest, I didn't know what joke I was gonna say and where I was gonna take it. So
yeah, thank you for handing the baton to me. I'll run with it.
And to all our black listeners, just deal with it. Anyway, here we go.
All Derek.
I'll just. Oh, my mom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot your mom was.
All right. We love you, Beaners. Anyway, guys. Ehsan, you ready?
Yes.
Excited?
Yes.
We did 28 weeks last week.
Yes.
You guys know what the episode is. That's why you came. One of my favorite movies. One of the best movies of all time. Definitely one of the best movies of all time. Ehsan Ahmad.
Yes.
Why don't you explain to me what you think happens in one of the best movies of all time that you somehow never saw as a child, Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh. Fuck. God, this is going to want to be one of those guesses that make me look like a complete idiot because it's like I basically know what happens, but not really. Oh man, can I ask you a question?
Yes, buddy.
Was this in any way inspired by the fact that we watched that Justin Bieber music video today?
No.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Because it was Beauty and the Beat, and so I was like, oh, maybe you made that one connection. Because
crazy is it? I did not know that was the name of that song. I know now. I was like, oh, I know what song you're talking about, but I didn't know that was the name of it.
Yeah, we were just watching the video, so I was like, oh, maybe you made that connection.
No, not at all. I had no idea that was the name of that song.
What kind of weird coincidence is that?
Yeah, we weren't watching that video on purpose. It just came.
No, it was on.
It just came into our lives today.
Yeah. Oh God. Because that was my first thought. All right. So, it's about this prince, right? He what's it called? He gets cursed by a witch somehow. Doesn't let him into his house or his castle or whatever, or cuts her off in traffic, whatever the fuck.
I like the second one.
Yeah. So he cuts her off in traffic, and she's like, I'm trying to get to Laurel. Or whatever.
It's a bitch trying to get to Laurel Canyon.
And he doesn't let her in, and so she curses him.
Which is what it should happen.
Yeah. Let people in. It's like he's this beast, and she turns all his people, all the servants in the household, into things that talk. And then then what? Fast forward, we meet. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's the whole rose thing. You know the rose thing. And then fast forward, and he's been the beast for a couple of years. There's probably like a fucking myth about him in the town. You know,
Ooh, I like that.
Don't go over there. And then there's this Belle, who's the who's the daughter of this guy. I don't know what the guy does. And she's pretty, but she's like weird or whatever. She's like, and then there's this, she has the affections of Gaston, who wants her, but she's like no. She's the only girl who's like no to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then stuff happens. Songs happen, and then that somehow. What I think? How does that? I remember reading like a book about it when I was a very little kid. Forgot. I think like her dad gets captured by the beast, and then she offers a trade. I think, right? I could be wrong about that. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stick with it. She offers the trade, and then she's like, "I'll be your captor." And then, stuff happens, and she ends up falling in love with the beast. And then, Gaston tries to come and kill the beast, and then the beast kills Gaston, kisses Belle. Right before the last petal falls in the rose, prince. He becomes a prince.
And then what?
And that's it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good guess.
I mean.
That was a good guess.
Yeah, that's Beauty and the Beast.
You ready for Beauty and the Beast?
Yes, I'm ready for Beauty and the Beast. I remember having the opportunity to watch this as a kid and then not watching it.
This is probably it's man, I mean, we talk about best ones of all time, bro. It's this giant, Lion King, Aladdin.
Well, this is
all the new ones are great, and I mean, all the new kind of movies are like even like a Toy Story shit. Like Toy Story is great, bro. Mm-hmm. They're all great, but them three there.
Well, this was the first one in like the Disney's like sort of
Little Mermaid 2, 4.
Yeah. Well, those were like the Disney's second golden age or whatever, right? This one was supposed to be the restart of it. This was the first movie in that golden age.
This for a reason.
Yeah.
Watching this movie today, I was like, just as happy as the million times I've watched it as a kid, just as happy as the million times I've watched it as an adult. You know what I mean? Watching it, I'm like, damn, I still love this, and still got into it. Like, damn, it's so good. Mm-hmm. It's just a perfect kids movie, man, for a reason. Starts, credits, Walt Disney Presents. You hear that, like this piano, right? That's just like the theme of of the whole Beauty and the Beast world. Like it goes really fast, right. And you see a beautiful forest and a castle, right? And it zooms in on the castle, and then you hear a voice. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there was a prince, and they zoom in on the castle, right? And like on the window, like the stained window glass, and it has like a picture of a prince, and like through the stained window glass, like that kind of tells the story of what he's saying, of the narrator, right? And then he goes, and although the prince had everything he wanted, he was spoiled, selfish, and unkind. But then one winter's night, an old beggar came and offered him a single rose for shelter from the battered cold. Halted by this ugly bitch's face. That's what he says. He said, "Get the fuck out of here, you ugly ass bitch."
Okay, I don't think he said anything.
That's what he said.
I don't think so at all.
She said,
"Are you sure you watched The Beauty and the Beast?"
She said, "Don't be deceived by appearances.
Motherfucker.
Beauty is found within." No, it's a kid's movie. Beauty is found within. And then he dismissed her again. He's like, "Bitch, get the fuck out of here, right, with that bullshit."
Right. So you see how I'm confused a little bit now.
I don't know what you're talking about. So, right then, her ugliness melts away. And she's the baddest bitch you've ever seen. All right? She's fucking bad. And she turns into an enchantress. Right? And then he apologizes. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And he's like, and as he apologized, it was too late. She put a curse on him and said, "You cut me off in traffic 2 weeks ago, motherfucker."
Yeah.
Lord Canyon.
I was trying to cut over on Mulholland at that fucking...
that fucking weird stuff. And you fucking...
I don't forget.
I don't forget anything. So she's like, "I'm going to put a curse on you."
Yeah.
And your entire castle and all who live there. Right?
Mm-hmm. What's he doing answering his own door anyway?
Ashamed of his monstrous form, the beast concealed himself in his castle with a magic mirror as his only window to the outside world. The rose she offered would bloom until his 21st year. If he can learn to love another and get her love in return before the last petal falls, the spell would be broken.
Okay.
If not, he would be doomed to remain a beast for all time. As the years passed, he fell into despair, lost all hope. The beast is all sad. You can't see him really. For who could ever learn to love a beast? Beauty and the Beast. I love it's great, dude. It's fucking great, dude. It's fucking good. Zoom in. Is it like you zoom in, that fades out and you zooms on this college.
Yeah.
Small college, Belhaven University. Small cottage in the countryside, right? And you see our lead, Belle. Okay? And she's in her beautiful blue Belle dress. You've seen her, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the princess. Yeah, that's what and she's walking in and she starts singing, "Little town.
Are you gonna sing these songs?
Just a quiet village." Am I gonna sing them? I mean, do I know them all from backwards? Every day, like the one before. Little town, full of little people. Bunch of little midgets. Waking up to say, "Bonjour, bonjour, 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 bonjour." And she's walking into town, right? "Bonjour, bonjour, 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 bonjour." You know, and then she goes, "There goes the baker with his tray, like always." And then she just starts singing about the town and like what everybody always does.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So
like
town.
It's you know what I mean?
Small
Just
town,
small
everyone
town,
has their own
a routine.
routine.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And she's talking to all the people and
They're
she's
all
trying.
French.
Yeah, everybody's French and she's trying to return a book, right? And then everybody is like, "There goes the girl that is strange, no question." And then everybody's singing about how weird she is. "God, she's such a weird bitch. And she smells so fucking weird. And her eye is kind of nerd looking, you know, or whatever the fuck, weird cross eyes. You know, so they're just going off about how fucking weird she is and how like she looks, right? And then they're like, and then she goes to return. She's going through the town, right? And everybody still keeps going, you know, "Bonjour, bonjour, Belle, bonjour." And she's like, "Good day, good day." And then people are like, and then like somebody's like, "How's your family? How's your wife?" And then she's like, "Oh, there must be more than this provincial life," you know? And then she goes into the library, right? And she's returning the book in the library, like, "Oh, hello, Belle." And she's like, "Hello." And then she climbs up the ladder and she's like, "Oh, any new books today?" And he's like, "Since yesterday? Of course not." And then she's like, "Oh," and she's like, "Well, I'll just take this one." And he's like, "That one, you've read it 100 times." And she's like, "Oh, but it's my favorite." She's talking about how it's her favorite book. And he's like, "Well, if it's your favorite so much, just keep it." "Really? Of course, Belle." "Oh, thank you." And then she runs out. And then with the, and it's just, the song keeps going, right? It's fucking awesome. And so people keep singing as she's walking. People keep singing about how she reads all the time, and it's annoying.
Yeah. You sure this doesn't take place in America?
No, bro, France.
Huh.
"Oh, isn't this amazing?" And then she brings in all these llamas, right? So all these llamas, she has her book, and then she's like, "This here's my favorite part. You'll see. Here is where she meets Prince Charming, but she won't discover that it's him till chapter 3. Do, 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 do." And then you see like a shot of the sky, right? And then ducks go by, and then a duck falls, and then a weird little nerdy dude catches it, right? And he's like, Gaston, you never miss. You know, and then it cuts to this giant fucking buff ass dude. This dude's gigantic.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
This dude huge. Pretty much is like the Mountain. If you really think about it, if he was like a real person, if he was, it would be like that kind of big, like a nigga. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, you're huge. You're massive. What the fuck is happening?
And you're ripped.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
buff.
like not just it's like the double. It's like, what the fuck are you, man? But you know, so he's got the asshole vibe too. The Gaston, it matches his name, which is also I always thought great name. It's like I don't know phrase, but Gaston sounds like a dick.
Yeah. I think that has something to do with. I don't know enough French to say what I'm going to say, so I don't know. But like gastronomie means like that's like stuff with your stomach.
Uh-huh.
So it's like yeah. So it's like bowels.
He makes your stomach turn.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, something like bowel.
No, he definitely as a character, he definitely makes your stomach turn.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But like that was just me throwing a guess out there.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that kind of Gaston.
I could 100% be wrong about that.
I like it.
Yeah.
We're going with it.
We're gonna go with it.
And now it's right forever. And that's how that works.
That's how the internet works, guys. And
so
the earth is flat. Anyways.
He says how he's gonna marry this weird girl Belle that's in the town because she is the most beautiful. And don't I deserve the best? That's what he says.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then he goes, from the moment when I saw her, I said she's gorgeous and I fell. And he's like, but then he says like, but for only if she were as beautiful as me. And then he looks at himself. I love this. He's awesome, bro.
That's pretty great.
And then there's like the other hoes, of course, like you said, and then they start singing about like, oh, there goes Gaston with all his muscles, his hand, and they're just like, oh, about how they want him, right? He's the best. And so, and then as they're singing about him, they're following him. He's trying to follow Belle, singing about Belle. Not everybody's singing, right? Once you can't really make it out, but it's like sounds good, And then as she's going through the town and like he's trying to get to her in the town singing about how weird she is. And she's, there must be more than this provincial life. And she keeps going, you know what I mean? And then she finally stops and turns around and the town's like, and then everybody just goes back to work. All right. So Gaston, now he walks up to her and he starts talking to her. And he's asking like, how come you're reading all these books and shit? And then he grabs the book she's reading. He's like, there's not even pictures in here. And then he's like, why would you want to pay attention to things that, you should pay attention to things that are more important, like me. And then he smiles. And then she's kind of like, she doesn't really say anything. And then the town, and he goes, Belle, the town is talking about it. It's not right. A woman reading. Next thing you know, you'll be getting ideas. He says this.
That's so funny. Damn. What a line.
Come on.
What a line.
And then he goes, let's go. He said, how about
That's a way to dig yourself in deep with the only girl in town that doesn't like you, but you want.
You're going for it, bro.
Yeah.
He says, let's go to the tavern and look at my trophies. She's like, oh, I'm okay.
This guy's hilarious.
Let's go look at my trophies.
Yeah, let's go look at my trophies. Jesus. How into yourself are you?
This guy's unreal. He goes, she goes, I have to get home to help my father. That crazy loon, she goes, that crazy loon, he needs all the help he can get. And then she goes, don't talk about him that way. And then he looks at his number 2, like the little weird LeFou guy, and he just slaps the shit out of him. He goes, yeah, don't talk about her father that way. He's like, I'm sorry.
That's funny.
And then she goes, he is a genius. And then right when he says that, like a big explosion happens at like her cottage way back. She's like, oh, and then she starts running home. Okay.
Right.
So she gets home and her old dad is an inventor. That's what you're wondering what he does. He's an inventor. Okay. And he's working on something big. Okay. And he's going off about how this hunk of junk he's been working on for 7 years, it still doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, I'm never going to get it to work. And she's like, oh, don't worry, Papa. You're so going to win first prize in the talent thing tomorrow. Because you know why? Because I believe in you. And he's like, you know what? Thanks, honey. And then he's like, let's fix this thing up in no time. And then, he starts fixing it up and she's just kind of talking to him. And then she goes, while he's doing that, she goes, Papa, do you think I'm odd? And he goes, my daughter? And he like pushes himself out and he's got like the most goofy inventing glasses ever. He goes, odd? I never, and then he goes back, right? And she's like, I know, right?
Yeah, well, if the whole town's singing about it.
Oh, dude, come on.
Yeah,
she's reading.
Yeah, what a crazy bitch.
Yeah. So he fixes the adventure thing up and it starts up again, right? And then it looks like he starts it up and it looks like, that the game Mousetrap, nigga?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that, where it's like this is more or less like an invention and more like a one-shot kind of deal, like dominoes. Like if you,
and it just like looks cool.
Yeah, like the thing hits the thing, and then this is this, and then this is this, and then all it does after all this shit, it just is a machine that chops wood in half for you, and then it'll chop the wood in half, and then it'll throw the wood in the pile, and then he's like, "Oh, I got it to work," and she's like, "Oh, Papa, you're gonna win." You know, they're celebrating and shit, and he's like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna have to get out of here. If I'm gonna get there in time, off to the fair." And she's like, "Bye, Papa. Good luck. Bye, Belle. Take care." And then he rides off. Right. So, cut to him and the horse. It's like later, right? And he's like, "We should be there by now." And it's dark, and he's got his invention behind him. And he's like, "Maybe I missed a turn." And he's looking at the map, and then he comes up on a split in the road, right? And then one of the sides is like really clear and dark, like clear and nice, and like obviously a nice path. And the other is like just death.
And he chooses death.
And so the horse, I love it, the horse starts immediately walking towards the clear one, right? He's like, "Philippe, that's not the right way." And then the horse looks at him, and then the horse goes that way. He's like, "Philippe, come on, look, it's clearly this way." And Philippe's like, "No." And so he makes him go that way, right? And so they walk, right, and they get spookier and spookier.
What a great horse name.
Philippe. I know, I love that name. That's why I brought it. I was like, I love that name as well. It's so funny you say it's a great name.
Yeah.
Philippe, for a horse. It's good. And then his walkers get spookier and spookier, and then the horse starts to panic. Philippe starts panicking, right? And then bats come out and they scare the shit out of him. And then he fucking and then he bucks him off, and then he takes off running.
Right.
You know what I mean? No. Not yet. He bucks. He almost bucks him off, and he holds on. He takes off running, and then he almost runs off a cliff. And then now he's holding off, and then he backs him up. And then Philippe hears wolves, and then he panics again and bucks him off again, and then he takes off running with the invention, like on his back still. So now he's just gone. And then like you see wolves chasing after the cart. And Philippe's fucking gone. You know what I mean? And so now he's like, Philippe, and now he's just alone in the dark. He looks around, and then you see like 4 wolves come up on him. And he takes off running, right? He's running, and then he falls down a hill, rolling, and then comes up on a big old gate. Okay? Help! Help! And then right when he bangs on one side, the gate kind of just opens up, and then he slides in and closes it in time, and the wolves start biting at him, and then he gets away, and his hat falls off. All right? And then he heads inside.
Right.
So he comes up on the castle, and it starts raining really hard on him now. All right. And he's banging on the door. He's like, please, hello. He's like, anyone in there? Anyone? And then the door kind of just opens. And he's like, hello? And then, hello? And then you hear people talking, but you can't see anything but like a lamp and a clock. You hear people.
Right.
And then you hear the clock go, not one word. And then the old man, he's like, help, please. I need just some shelter just for the night. I lost my horse, And then the candle starts feeling bad for him. He's like, you see him like feeling bad. He's like, of course, monsieur, welcome here. We'll help you. And then he's like, who said that? He's like, over here. And he's like, he grabs a candle and he's looking at him and he picks him up. He's like, hello. And he's like, oh, he drops him and he's like, incredible. And then the clock's like, oh God, what have you done? LaVille. And then he goes up to the clock and he's like, and he's like starts playing with it. And he's like, how is this accomplished? He's like, put me down, sir. Stop that. And he's like playing with this shit. And he's like, sir. And then the candle comes up and he's like, you are soaked to the bone, monsieur. He's like, let me warm yourself by the fire. And he's like, and then you hear the clock going, no. He's like, the master cannot hear about this. And then as they're talking about this, and the candle's walking him in, luminaire, he's walking him in.
Right.
The clock's like, no. The camera's panning back and you see a shadow, like watch all this happen. You know what I mean? Dude, right? Great for a kid. It's just like so good. So.
But I like it's very also things that just keep happening.
Never stops.
That's nice. I'm guessing this is like 90 minutes.
84.
Nice.
Right? Come on.
Nice. Great movie. Perfect. Anytime I see a movie that's an hour and a half, I'm like, this is what it's all about. This is what life is all about. James Cameron.
Uh-oh. Shots fired. You were coming at you, James.
I got my Cameron guns out, baby.
Avatar 2 better be the shit, nigga. Hour and a half. Tighten it up.
Yeah, keep it short.
So funny. Where are we at?
The Shadow.
The master was watching, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you hear the clock go Cogsworth. No, not the master's chair. And then you see him like Lumineers putting him in the chair, and then you see an ottoman like run up, and it's clearly like a dog. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he runs up and he's snuggling on the old man. He's like, oh, what? You know, he's like all excited just by all this shit. Of course, as you can imagine, you would be like, what the fuck? And then he goes, you hear he's like, hello, boy. And then you see a coat rack put like a coat rack is like putting a blanket on him. And he's like, what service? You know what I mean? And then the tea comes up and he's like, how about a nice spot of tea? And it's like the Mrs. Potts, tea lady. And then he sips some and you hear somebody go, his mustache tickles, mama. And he's like, oh, and he's like, hello. And it's like a little cup, you know what I mean? And then right then, as all this happens, the door opens and all the lights go out. You know what I mean? And the scary music starts playing, and then you hear the little cup go, uh-oh, and then you see the beast kind of in the dark, right? And then he goes, a stranger here, and then the candle starts explaining, oh, but master, he was out in the cold, and we couldn't just leave him out in the cold. Everything gets quiet, right? And he goes, and then the clock starts going, master, just so you know, I was against this at once. I said he should not come in. I said, rah! He roars again, right? Everybody starts hiding. And then the beast comes up on him, and he goes, who are you? And then he goes, I'm just an old. And he goes, you're not welcome here. And then the old man's like, oh, I'm sorry, I just was cold. And he goes, what are you staring at? Nothing. Huh? That's what you did, huh? You've come to stare at the beast. And he's like, no, sir, I'm not coming to stare at the beast. I promise. He's like, I'll give you a place to stay, and I'll give you something to stare at. No. And he grabs him and he storms upstairs. Right?
Jesus. Relax. Jesus Christ. Fuck. It's not all about you, beast.
Yeah, dude.
You thought you would learn that from the witch.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, right?
It happened years ago.
Yeah, and you've been stuck like this.
So cuts back to Gaston and his number 2, LeFou. That's his name.
LeFou.
What a great number 2 name.
Which means the fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're planning out. He's telling him how they're gonna surprise Belle with this wedding, and he's telling him how he has a full band and everything. And then he goes, but first I gotta propose to the girl. And then he goes in, and then he tells LeFou, he goes in, when I come out, and LeFou's like, I know, strike up the band. And then he strikes up the band, and he like hits him with the trumpet. He's like, not yet, idiot, So he goes and he knocks on the door, and Belle like looks through like a weird invention thing, like which would have been like a peephole pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's like a weird, like old school with crazy thing of it, version of it. And then she goes, oh. And then she opens the door, which is so funny because it's like no one said you had to open the there was no reason to open the door.
Right, you could just talk through the door.
Yeah, dude. And then she lets him in, and then she goes, Gaston, what a pleasant surprise. And he goes, Belle, there's not a girl in this town who wouldn't love to be in your shoes today. She goes, oh, is that so?
Oh, wow, nice, sweet talk.
Right.
Yeah.
He goes, because today I make all your dreams come true. And she goes, oh, wow, Gaston, what do you know about my dreams? And then he tells her about her future with him. Oh, I know it's about, we'll have, little ones by the fire, 6 strapping boys, you know what I mean? And all my trophies will be up on the wall, and you'll make dinner for everybody. He's like telling this horrible, like what a horrible life it probably would be.
Yeah.
Jesus, sounds terrible. Even thinking about it, 6 kids, you just cook all day, you don't get to do shit, and you have to deal with this fuking guy?
Yeah. This is France in the 1700s. That's not a terrible request, isn't it?
Yeah, probably not. She can get raped.
Yeah, she could get beat. She could get,
Oh, this guy would beat the shit out of her.
No, that's fair. He has that vibe.
And he would rape her, actually. Yeah, this guy's all those things.
Well, we did. Yeah. Well, we took it here. This is a Disney movie, but
hey,
this is where we're at.
This is spoil the beans, not spoil the. I don't know.
Man, you really did not have a finishing for that. Yeah, I couldn't help you with that. I couldn't pivot that to black people no matter how hard I tried. I couldn't.
It's late, guys. This is our first nightcast.
Yeah, dude, we're doing this like so late at night.
This is really late at night. Me and this guy have an early flight to Milwaukee in the morning for comedy, doing theaters with Brendan Schaub.
Shout out to Brendan.
Shout out to Brendan. Shout out to Milwaukee. We'll be there this weekend.
Yeah.
But back to this.
Hey, and shout out to black people. I know I've said some things in jest as a joke, but hey, we're here.
He doesn't mean that. There's a guy literally telling him, Ehsan, you have to say that. He doesn't mean any of that. Anyway. So
I forgot where we were at.
Yeah, where were we?
Oh, he said that he explains to her their life together.
Oh, explaining her life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she goes, she's like, I'm speechless, you know. He goes, well, just say you'll marry me. And she goes, I'm sorry, Gaston, but and then she gets him near the door and she goes, I just don't deserve you. And then she opens the door and he like falls out, right? And he falls into like a bunch of mud. Mm-hmm. And then she closes the door and then LeFou strikes up the band, of course, and the band's playing and then he grabs him and then LeFou's like, how did it go? And he's like, I'll have Belle as my wife. Make no mistake about that. And then he throws him and he storms off.
Right. Yeah, this seems.
So Belle watches him leave and then she comes out. She's so mad. She's like, can you believe it? Him asked to marry me? Madame Gaston, can you just see it? No, sir, not me. I'm not his wife. She goes, because I want more than this provincial life. And then she starts running and she runs off into some fields, right? And then pans back and you see a beautiful shot of fields and this river and shit. And then she goes, I want adventure in the great white somewhere.
Man, you are feeling this.
This is the greatest soundtrack of probably all of them, bro. Maybe. They all got some good, but this is one of them. And he goes, and for once it might be grand to have someone understand. I want so much more than they got planned. And she blows the dandelion. And then as the dandelion flies up, Philippe runs up. Told you, bro. Everything just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No stops. So Philippe now runs up. She's like, Philippe. And Philippe's like, and she's like, where's Papa? Where is he? Take me to him, Philippe. And she hops on him, right? Mm-hmm. Philippe takes her to the castle.
Oh, now Philippe has nerves of steel. All right, bro.
I know, Philippe. You left me back there, you bitch ass horse.
Yeah, just for some pussy to get the girl. Yeah, okay, Philippe.
He had wolves on his ass. I feel him. I'd have been gone too. That's fine. I'd have been like, hey, bro, this wolf, get the fuck out of here. I'm not getting eaten for you.
It's the daytime now.
Yeah.
So Philippe took a whole night off.
Yeah, he took away. Yeah.
You had to think.
Also, he had to get there too.
Yeah.
So he runs up panicked, right? Mm-hmm. They run up panicked to the castle. She's like, what is this place? And Philippe's real scared. Like he doesn't want to be there, right? So she ties him up and then she sees the hat. She's like, oh. She grabs the hat. She runs inside. Mm-hmm. The candle, as she gets inside, the candle and clock are still arguing about letting the old man in and now the master are mad at him, blah, blah, blah. She comes in. Hello? Papa? She just goes searching through the house. The big, gigantic cat. I mean, it just goes start running through it. You know what I mean? And then you hear the cup say to the teapot, Mama? There's a girl in the castle. Don't make up stories, honey. And then she goes into the tub, and then she's like, no, Mama, I mean it. There's a girl in the castle. And then right then a lady comes in, like a broom, which would have been like, I guess like a cleaning lady.
Yeah.
She's like, there's a girl in the castle, you know. And then the clock and the candle, like they see as they're arguing, they see Belle and they flip shit. She's the one. You know what I mean? And then she has come to break the spell. And the clock's like, wait. No, that can't just be it. And he gets all nervous immediately, right? And then she keeps searching, and she's searching. And then as she comes up on the candle, he doesn't move. He's about to say something, he doesn't move. And then she looks to the left, and then she finds her dad.
Right.
Like he's at the top, right? And he's in like a cell. And she comes up to him, and she's like, oh, Papa. And he's like, Belle, you have to get out of here. You got to get out of here. And right then, the beast takes the fire in her hand, and he knocks it out of her hand. And he goes, who are you? And she goes, who are you? He goes, the master of this castle. And then right then the dad's like, run, Belle, run. And then she's like, no, let him out, please. This is my father. He's sick. I'll do anything. There's nothing you can do. He is my prisoner. Wait. Take me instead. You would take his place. I'm giving you the movie, baby. Belle goes. Belle's like, she sits and she goes, and then the dad goes, no. She goes, but if I do, you'll let him go. Yes, but you must stay here forever. Come into the light. He steps into the light, and then you finally see him. He's gigantic, and he's got beautiful blue eyes.
Of course.
All right?
Of course. He's got those Jesus eyes, baby.
Yep. And then she sees him all the way. She gets real scared, right? And then he goes, she's like, you have my word. He goes, done. And he goes, no, Belle, I've lived my life. No, Belle.
Yeah, that's a bad trade.
Yeah, wait. And then, she wants to different life, bro.
That's fair.
And so the beast takes him away, and she's like, "No, wait!" And he starts running him downstairs, right? And he throws him in a carriage. And he's like, "Take him back to the village." And she's crying upstairs, right? And then as he's going back upstairs, the beast is telling the candle is telling the beast, "Sir, maybe offer the girl a comfy room." You know? And the beast's like, and then he goes back up to her, and then she's crying on the prison floor, and she's like, "You didn't let me say goodbye. You didn't even let me say goodbye. It's my father." He's like, "I'll show you to your room." She's like, "But I thought, do you want to stay in the tower?" "No, follow me." And he follows her, right?
I like this.
I know, right?
I like this. Good on the candle. You need a friend that'll tell you some real shit.
Yeah, like, "Hey, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a candle anymore." Also, like, "Hey, my nigga."
Yeah, hey, this time's running out. I'm gonna have to be a candle.
It's not just about you.
Yeah, which he still hasn't learned yet.
Come on, bro. It's a whole house of niggas like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
You think I want to be a teapot?
Yeah. My kid hasn't grown.
My kid is a goddamn fucking teacup.
Little cup. And it's been like that for like a bunch of years now.
Come on, man.
How old was the prince when he got turned? I mean, he's not 21 yet.
Yeah, he's not 21 yet. So
he's young. Yeah, a little 13-year-old answering his own door. You're a prince. Have someone else answer it.
Oh, well, I guess, yeah. So that guy, he needed his ass beat, probably.
Yeah, right?
By life. But he got it.
He got it hard.
He got it hard.
Where's his parents? Anyways.
Good point. Never comes up in this story at all.
You don't have to say it like that. It makes me feel like the parents are coming up.
No, they don't.
They don't.
It's like, it never even occurred to me that there should be parents in the house.
Yeah, right?
There should be fucking parents in this story.
Yeah, right.
Where are they? This castle's huge. Who got him this?
Right? You're born with it.
You're born with it, but like somebody's
got to keep it up. Unless the parents, it's Disney. Both of the parents are probably dead. What is he the prince of?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, right? Right, he should be the prince of the town that they're in. All right, well, some things, you're not supposed to look into some things. And this is one of those movies.
So he's taking her around the castle.
Mm-hmm.
And she's all nervous. She's crying. He's holding the candle, the beast. And the candle's whispering advice in his ear. Say something to her. I hope you like it here. The castle is your home. Go wherever you like. Except the West Wing. What's in the West Wing? It's forbidden. She's like, and he's like, invite her to dinner. You will join me for dinner. That's not a request. And he slams the door. And then she jumps in her bed. She starts crying.
No, he's trying. He hasn't talked to a girl ever, so he's doing his best.
So Gaston is at a bar, and he's going off about her rejecting him. He's so mad, and he's down in the dumps, right? And then LeFou's like, "Oh, let me get you more beer." He's like, No, I'm disgraced. He's like, "Oh, Gaston, man, you're so depressed. Gosh, it disturbs me to see you like this. Looking so down in the dumps. Every guy here wants you to be you, Gaston. Even when taking your lumps." And then all the guys are in the bar cheer. Yeah, right? You're everyone's favorite guy. And he's like,
really? He's a dick, though. He's everyone's favorite guy.
But no one slick as Gaston. No one's quick as Gaston. There's no one whose neck is as thick as Gaston's. And the Gaston's like, I'm exceptionally manly. Like, he's like down, but he's like, you're right. I got shoulders to spare. Bro, this is like one of my favorite songs of all time, bro. So he's going on, and then everyone's like, but no one bites like Gaston. No one fights like Gaston. And as he's doing all these things, he's getting happier and happier as he's like, everyone in the bar is like cheering him up. He's the man.
Right.
Also, how it's 30 grown men singing this song about another dude, and he's not all the way cheered up yet. He's like, yeah, I can do so. You're right.
Yeah.
That's so funny, dog. That is so funny for him to be like, even though I can jump as high as, it's so funny, bro. So this nigga goes, You go, as a specimen, yes, I'm intimidating. Man, what a guy, Gaston. And then the bar is like in full dance number, right? And then he's singing about how buff he is and how hairy he is. And then he's singing about how in a spitting match he can kick anyone's ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then he goes, and when I was a lad, I ate 2 dozen eggs to help me get large. Now I'm a man. I eat 6 dozen eggs, and I'm roughly the size of a barge. Yo, it's so many eggs. Yeah. He also he throws them up and like eats them just like that.
6,000 eggs.
Bro, this thing is huge.
72 eggs.
Yeah. This song is just an ode to himself, nigga. That's amazing.
Great. That's great.
So, right then, someone interrupts, and it's Maurice, the old dad. Help! Help! Someone help! He has her locked in a dungeon. You have to come quick. He has her, the beast. And then they go, there's not a minute to lose. Maurice. Who is what? There's a beast, a horrible beast. And then people laugh. Everybody laughs at him. They go, is he big? He's huge. Does he have a snout? Yes, he has a snout with huge fangs. Yes. And everybody's laughing at him. Will you help me? Okay, old man. Okay, we'll help you. And then they all grab him and then they throw him out the bar in the snow. All right? And then everybody laughs and they go, oh, Maurice, he's always good for a laugh. And then Gaston sits and he thinks and he goes, crazy old Maurice. Crazy old Maurice. And then somebody goes, man, that wacky old coot, he's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, his sanity's only so-so. The wheels in my head, they are turning. You know, he's like, and then he goes, I promised myself I'd be married to Belle, and now I'm involving a plan. And then he grabs LeFou and he starts whispering to him, and LeFou's like, ooh, no, oh, wait. Ooh, you know what I mean? Just like that. He's like, now I get it. And then they all start dancing and they go, man, what a guy, Gaston. And the camera pans out the bar and the old man's in the snow and he's like, will no one help me? And it fades out. Dude, it's such a good movie. So, Belle's crying in her room.
Right.
And the teapot comes in, you know. She's like, hello, lad. You got to cheer up, blah, blah, blah. And the wardrobe starts coming to life and talking to her. And then they're telling her how brave they think she is, right? And how good they are, like that she's such a brave person for doing what she did for her father. And then they're like, cheer up, child. It'll all turn around in the end. And then the wardrobe thing, the closet is like, well, what do you want to wear for dinner, sweetheart? And then she's like, oh, that's kind of you, but I'm not going. And then she's like, oh, but you must go, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, well, I don't want to go. And then right then the clock comes in. He's like, dinner is served, right? And then the beast cuts to back downstairs and the beast is waiting. And he's walking, he's pacing, and he's pissed. He's going off. Why isn't she here yet? And then he's like, Master, he goes, have you thought, this is Lumineer, he's like, Master, have you thought that she might be the one to break the spell? He's like, of course I have. What do you think, I'm a fool? And he's like, okay, good. He's like, you think maybe we can be human by midnight? And then the master goes, there's no use. She is beautiful and he looks at himself. He goes, well, look at me. And then the teapot goes, well, help us see past all that. She's like, straighten up your act. Act like a gentleman. And he's like, straightens up. He's like, hello. He's like, act like a gentleman. And then they're giving him all this advice. And he's like, listening. And he starts getting mad at him. And then he goes, and they go, and above all, you must control your temper. And he's like, and he stops, right? And then right then the clock comes in and they all look and he's like, where is she? And he's like, oh, that's right, the girl. Ha! Oh, well, she actually, she was coming and then, she, Master, really, she isn't coming. What? And then this nigga fucking jumps and runs up the wall to get to he doesn't even use the stairs. You know what I mean? It's fucking and they're like, Master, control your temper. And they're running after him, right? And he runs up to the door. I told you to come down for dinner. She doesn't say anything. You come out of there or I'll break that door down. I'm not coming. Master, I don't think this is the best way to win her over. This is the Lumineer guy. I love how he's just
he's right.
Calm about it.
Yeah.
He's like, but she's being difficult. And he goes, gently. He's like, gently.
She's being difficult.
Right? And he calms himself and he goes, will you come down to dinner, please. No, thank you. You can't stay in there forever. Yes, I can. Fine. Go ahead and starve. And then he's like, she doesn't eat with me. She doesn't eat. And then he leaves, right? And then the clock's like, very well, Master Lumineer, watch the door. And then Lumineer stands on the door like he's going to watch guard.
Right.
What do you think so far? I get some water.
Right, what I think happens next, they're going to sneak her food.
Oh,
what I think happens, what I think about it so far, I'm very in. I'm like, how does he win this? How does he win her over? He's starting off very poorly.
Yeah, it's like, how the fuck would he win her over?
Yeah.
So, it cuts to him upstairs now, and he says one of my favorite lines of the movie. I used to quote this line as a little kid all the time, walk around the house. You can ask my dad. He's like, I would just walk around, and he just go, this is the line. So
fuck bitches get money?
Yeah. Oh, he's sitting there, man.
Yeah.
So after he says, fuck bitches get money, which is great, he's upstairs, and he goes, what does she want me to do? Beg? I don't know why I like that line, bro, but that line it stuck with me, nigga. What does she want me to do? Beg? Bro, where is this nigga at mentally?
Yeah, what the like he didn't kidnap her.
Right? That's what's so funny. Like, bro, you kidnapped her. I think you did that.
Yeah.
Show me the girl. And then the mirror shows her, like he grabs the mirror that can see everything, right? And he says, show me the girl. And the mirror shows him her in her room. And then she's crying and shit, right? And then she's going off about him to all the other things in the room, the closet and the teapot. She's like, oh, she's like, oh my God, he's the worst, blah, blah, blah. And he's looking at this and he's like, she'll never see me as anything but a monster. And then a rose wilts off, another rose petal wilts off. It's hopeless, fades to black. So Belle is sneaking out her room later that night.
Ooh, look at her. Mm-hmm. First night.
The candle the candle is supposed to be watching the door, but him and the broom are fucking behind the thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, nice.
All right. So as him and the broom, he kind of looks out because he hears something and then he notices she's down the hallway. He's like, and then too late.
That doesn't even work.
I know, right? And then it's too late. So she comes into the kitchen and the teapot is putting her kids in the cupboard to bed. You know what I mean? And then the grill's going off about how he cooked this big old meal for no reason. And then when Belle comes in, they see her and they're like, Belle, mademoiselle. And they're all really nice to her. And they're like, anything we can do to make your stay more comfy? And then she goes, well, I really am hungry. And then they go, hear that? Start the fire. So get the guys, start the silverware. You know what I mean? And then the master goes, and then the clock goes, I'll remember the master. And then the teapot says, I'm not letting the girl go hungry. He goes, okay. She gets a glass of water and a slice of bread. That's it. And then the Lumineer's like, Cogsworth, she is our guest. And then Cogsworth's like, well, keep it down. And he goes, of course, I'll keep it down. But what's dinner without a little bit of music? And then the candle sits her down, and the dining, he goes, and he puts on a little hat on himself. He goes, the dining room proudly presents your dinner. Be our guest. Be our guest. And then the candle starts, bro, singing this amazing song, bro. And he goes, try the gray stuff. It's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. And all the dishes are coming out and dancing and doing all this cool shit and serving her food while they're singing. It's fucking crazy, bro. And then she goes, he goes so go on and fold your menu and be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. And then it turns into this gigantic number, right? The camera pans out and it's this gigantic Broadway level number. And then you hear it's Lumineer in the front and he goes, course by course, one by one. Let's all stop and have some fun. Dun, 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 here we're gonna end it, friends. You wanna strap on in and come on in. Cause be our guest, be our guest, be our guest. And then it's this fucking, she's not even eating. She's just fucking dancing and shit, bro. Yeah. She's not even trying. All this food's amazing. She's not even touching it. You know what I mean? And then you the one that said you was hungry. So, she's like, bravo, bravo, bravo. And then they're like, she's like, that was wonderful. And they're like, oh, thank you, mademoiselle. And then they're like, all right, well, now off to bed. And she's like, oh, well, I can't go to bed now. I'm all awake after all that. And it's my first time in an enchanted castle. And then she's like, I'd like to look around if that's all right. And then somebody's like, would you like a tour? And she's like, yes. And then Cogsworth's like, oh, we can't have her around certain places, blah, blah, blah. You know how that the master wouldn't like that and all this stuff. And then she talks him into doing like, well, I bet nobody knows this castle like you. And he's like, well, of course nobody knows this castle like me. And he's like, I'll show you everything. And then he starts, he starts telling her about everything, right? And they're walking through the castle, and she, like, as they're talking to her, she wanders off and starts going up some stairs, and then they freak out. They're like, can't go up there. And then she's like, oh, what's up there? And they're like, oh, nothing. And then the other one goes, it's the West Wing. And she goes, oh, this is the West Wing. And she's like, oh, nice going, Cogsworth. And he's like, oh, I wonder what he's hiding up there. And they go, the master? He hides nothing. And then she's like, oh, well, then I guess I can go up there. And she's like, no. And then she's like, well, then why is it not permitted? And then she keeps going, and then they're like, oh, well, you don't want to go up there. He's like, maybe we'll take you to the outside campsites or the library. And she's like, oh, the library? And they're like, oh, yeah, we have a gigantic library. You'd love it, blah, blah, blah. And they start going off about the library, and they're like going to go take her to it. She's like, oh, well, take me. And then she goes off and she's going to follow them, and then she just turns around, and then they keep talking. They don't even notice. You know what I mean?
Classic.
So she goes up to the West Wing. Mm-hmm. It's dark. It's spooky. She goes into a room that's beat to shit. It's like just tattered and everything's torn up, right? She sees a painting of a face on a wall, but it's all scratched up, so she can't make it out. She tries to... She walks over and she sees a rose under a glass thing, and it's floating. And it's like sparkling like crazy. And she's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So she walks up on it and she opens the lid. She's looking at it. And then she's about to touch it, and then a shadow comes up. And then you see just, and then the glass gets snatched out of her hand and puts back on it. And then he goes, why'd you come here? And then she's like, I warned you never to come here. She's like, I'm sorry. Do you realize what you could have done? Get out! She's like, I'm sorry. Get out! And then she's like, and then she runs out. Get out! And he starts breaking the room all the way to pieces, just smashing the entire room, right? And she's running, and then he like sits in the room and he kind of like cries to himself. You know what I mean? As she's running out. And they're like, ma'am, where are you going? She's like, I can't stay here another minute. I'm sorry. And then she gets on Philippe and she takes off running, like in riding, right, in the snow. And it's just fucking going, right? And so as like they're riding, Philippe notices wolves are behind him. So he takes off even faster. So now they're getting chased by wolves, right? And they're making a run for it. It's like 6 or 7 wolves all on their ass. You know what I mean?
These wolves ain't fucking around.
No, as they're going, they fall in water. You know what I mean? So they're fucking maneuvering and they get out the water, and then finally they keep going, and then they get like cornered off by wolves. So now they're completely surrounded. Philippe's like horse thing gets tied up to a tree. He bucks, and now she kicks her off the horse, and now he's stuck. He can't move. You know what I mean? And so he's fighting off wolves with his feet. A wolf is about to bite him, and then she takes a stick and she fucking hits a wolf off. And then she gets in front of him, and then now all the wolves are like all the way around him, and she's trying to fight her off. And then one of the wolves grabs a stick out of her hand and throws it, and then another wolf pins her down, and then it's about to kill her, and then you see a fucking gigantic beast come and save her ass. You know what I mean? And he's fucking fight, and there's a legitimate epic fight scene. Like legitimate epic fight scene.
Like Jackie Chan one-on-one.
Well, no. Like a beast against 6 wolves.
Okay. Oh, shit.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like imagine like the beast and X-Men going up against wolves or some shit like
okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, and so he's going up against, they're biting the fuck out of him too. And he's fucking them up. You know what I mean? One by one. And he keeps throwing them off. And then finally he's, and then they go running off, right? So he's standing there and he's looking at her and he's breathing and she's like, and he's got blood coming down his arm and blood coming down his neck. And then he just passes out. And then she's about to get on a horse. She looks at him, and then she runs up to him. She kind of pets him. And then it cuts to, and he's back on the horse now, and then she's taking him, and she's taking him back to the castle. All right? So he's sitting by the fire, and he's licking his wounds like this. And she has hot water boiling up, and she's like, don't do that. And he's like, Roof. She's like, hold still. And then she puts the hot water on his wounds, and he goes, Rah! You know, like that. And he's like, that hurt. And then she's like, well, I told you to hold still. And he's like, well, I told you to not go in the West Wing. And then she's like, she's like, well, you shouldn't have kidnapped my dad. And he's like, well, you shouldn't do this. And she's like, well, you should control your temper. And he looks at her. And she goes, hold still. He's like, and she puts it on him. She's like, And he's looking at her. And she goes, by the way, thank you for saving my life. And he goes, you're welcome. And it fades out.
Ooh, right? Okay, that's how he turns it around.
So Gaston is talking.
Yeah, dude, that's a great way to win over a girl. Just beat up 6 wolves in front of her.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Talk
dude.
about getting pussy, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But at least getting some admiration. He's like, man, he beat up those 6 wolves.
After he yelled at me.
Yeah. It's, so
yelling at
far,
me.
1 for 1. That that way of getting a woman.
Funny.
I'm gonna say, you know,
God damn it,
all I know, it works 100% of the time.
Sound them out, guys. Catch them in Milwaukee this Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. at the Turner Hall Theater.
Yeah, this comes out after the shows happen.
Catch us in Phoenix, Arizona, Stand Up Live, the end of April, also with Brendan Schaub.
Yes, we will be there.
If you are in the Arizona area, any of our listeners, we will be in Phoenix, Stand Up Live, end of April, the last weekend in April. Don't know the dates exactly, but we'll get them for you the next episode. But any listeners that we have in Arizona area, we have a couple actually, I know. So there you go, guys. Come out and see us live. Brendan Schaub. It's a great show. He's great. You'll love it. Anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah.
Where are we at? I can't believe we actually got to plug something. This is really exciting.
Yeah, we've never plugged it in.
It was like, I was like, it just hit me like, oh my God, we have dates to plug. We got San Jose dates coming as well, guys. Oh, we got other dates. We got future dates.
Yeah. I forgot what happened. Oh yeah, it fades to black. They start liking each other.
There's a little bit of vibe, right?
Yeah,
That's where we're at. So Gaston is talking to a creepy old man. Okay,
ooh, nice.
And he's giving him a gigantic sack of money, and then he goes, I got my heart on Belle, but she needs persuasion. You know, everyone knows her father is a loony. And then the old guy goes, Maurice is harmless. And he goes, but point is, she would do anything to keep him from being locked up. And then the old guy goes, so you want me to throw him in the asylum, unless she marries you. I love it.
Nice.
So Maurice is at home and he's planning how he's going to save her on his own, right? And then he goes off.
Right.
So right as he goes off, Gaston and Lou are coming in. They're coming to get him, right? And then he's not there. It's like, oh, where is he? Blah, blah, blah. And so he tells LeFou, you stay here on this front porch and you wait until he gets back. You know what I mean? LeFou's like, oh, come on. And he leaves him. So the Beast is watching Belle in the snow. And he's talking to the candle. He's like, I've never felt this way about anyone before. And she's outside kind of playing, doing her own thing. And then he goes, I want to do something for her. But what? And then Cogworth's like, well, master, there's flowers, chocolates, promises you don't intend to keep. Bro, that line, I never heard that line. I've seen the movie a million times, but it made me laugh. I was like, oh my, made me laugh out loud.
Yeah. Well,
promises you don't intend to keep.
Well, when you hear that as an adult, you're like, whoo, yeah, wow.
Everything I gave my girl this week, flowers, chocolates, promises that I'm definitely not going to keep.
Yeah, right? It's like, that's very real.
Especially for a clock to say it, it's really funny. and then the candle goes, no, I got it. And he tells him something, and then he's like, oh. And so he goes downstairs like, Belle, there's something I want to show you. But first, close your eyes. She's like, why? He's like, it's a surprise. She closes her eyes, and he walks her in, and she gets all excited. He walks her in this dark room. She's like, can I open? And he goes, not yet. And he starts running around and open all these shades. And she goes, can I open? Not yet. He's opening all the shades around this room. And she goes, can I open now? He goes, all right, now. And she opens her eyes, and it's the biggest library you've ever seen on planet Earth. She's like, oh, and it just keeps going up and up and up. It just doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she's like, oh my God, I've never seen this many books in all my life. Do you like it? Yes, I love it. It's yours. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so it cuts to the next thing. They're eating now, right? And she's sipping her like porridge, like she's like sipping it from a spoon,
right?
You know. And then he's eating his porridge. He's eating, and it's all over the place. He's eating it like a beast, right? And then she's looking at him, and then he looks at her and he stops. And he grabs his fork and he tries to use it, but it's really hard for him. And then she looks at him and she's like, and then she puts her fork down and then she like eats from the bowl as well. And he's like, and you know what I mean? Like so now they're both eating from the bowl, right? So outside they're hanging in the snow and they're playing and walking around and it's really cheery music playing. And then now my other favorite song. She goes, she's looking at him and she's not talking, but you can hear it's like her thoughts. She goes, there's something sweet and almost kind. But he was mean and he was coarse and unrefined. But now he's dear and so unsure. I wonder why I didn't see it there before. Right? And she's looking at it, and then like he's feeding like birds, bro. It's the sweetest scene, dog. Come on, tell me you're not feeling the songs, bro. The songs match the movie so hard.
You know what he reminds me of?
What?
This might be a deep cut. Do you remember Seb Tawa?
Yes, I remember Septile.
Yeah, Septile was a comic in San Diego scene, and that was his. This was
and a scientist, if I believe,
yes,
right, or some kind of
grad student or PhD guy at UCSD.
Yeah, I knew he had some kind of
Yeah, he's a very smart guy. That was his. And he always had beautiful women around him.
Yes, always.
Always, and that was his tactic. He would get them very angry at him first, and then he would flip it.
Yeah. And he told me about, because his last girl, that I wonder if he's still with, because he was with the same girl for a while when we last saw him. He told me he literally saved her from a pack of wolves. So.
Yeah. Oh, 2 for 2. So try and true way of getting a girl is you save her from a pack of wolves.
Goddamn right, buddy.
Yep.
So he is like, now he's looking at her and he's so happy, right? And then it's his mind. He goes, she glanced this way. I thought I saw. And when she touched me, she didn't shudder at my paw. But she, and then he's like, but something's weird and something's changed. And I wonder how she's never looked at me before. Like, she's never looked at this way before. And then it cuts back to her and she's like, this is a bit alarming. Whoever thought that this could be? And then they're walking through the snow together, and she's looking at him, and she's like, true. She's making a face. He's no Prince Charming, but there's something in him that I simply didn't see. And then the other characters start singing as they have this snowball fight, right? And then they're laying by the fire, and she's reading to him. And then they're all the Lumineer and all the guys, they're going, there must be something there that wasn't there before. There must be something there that wasn't there before. And then the little teacup little boy's like, what was there, mama? Shh, I'll tell you when you're old. Right? And the scene ends. So he's in a bathtub now. And he's getting all groomed up. And then Lumineer's like, tonight is the night, master. And he's like, no time to be timid. You have to be bold, be daring. And then he's like, there will be music, there will be candlelight, and when the moment is right, you confess your love. And then he goes, do you care for her? And then the beast is like, more than anything. And he's like, good. And then he looks at him and he's like, no. He's like, and they get him all done up, and he's like, master, you look so. And then it cuts to the master, he looks at himself, and he's like, he looks like a fucking, like all done up. He's like, stupid. He's like, maybe a little off the top. And then they redo him up again, right? And then right then the Cogsworth beats on the door. Master, your lady awaits. Cogsworth's my nigga, bro. I just like how he talks. So Bell comes down, right?
That needs to be plastered over. Like, you need to have that.
Cogsworth, my nigga.
Yeah,
I like how he
somewhere.
talks.
Somewhere. That's got to be.
Shirt.
That's a great shirt. That's a great shirt.
Cogsworth, my nigga. And on the back, I like how he talks. With a picture of Cogsworth on that bitch.
Yeah, with like a chain on. Yeah.
I would rock the fuck out that shirt.
It's a great shirt.
Thanks, buddy.
It's a great shirt.
One day, Beaners. One day.
Yeah.
So, where were we at?
Cogsworth says your lady has arrived.
Oh, your lady. Oh, wait, that's right. So Belle's coming down the stairs in the beautiful gold dress, right?
Yeah.
And he has that dope blue suit on. It's the famous scene where they're meeting down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
And then they meet in the middle, and then Miss Potts starts singing the classic. Tale as old as time, true as it can be, barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Legitimately, all bullshit aside, great line.
Somebody bends unexpectedly.
Bro,
it's a great way to describe love.
Barely even friends. Because that's all it is. I'm thinking about even me and Sam. I thought about us, bro. It's like, damn, what it really was. Like, I don't know. Like, we're cool. I guess barely even friends at the beginning. You know what I mean? Even when you first start dating, you're barely even friends. And then somebody does bend. And I know with us, it was me first. Where it was like, bro, I am in love with this woman. You know what I mean? And it just happens. You don't even know. It's just like, you just wake up, you're like, bruh. And it's like, that is the most true shit. And it's in Beauty and the Beast.
Disney gets it right a lot.
You're right, bro.
Yeah,
unexpectedly. So they're eating dinner as the song goes on. Mm-hmm. And then, both a little scared, neither one prepared. Beauty and the Beast. And then they're dancing, right? And then they're dancing all over the thing. Ever just the same. ever a surprise. She's just singing. Ever as sure as the sun will rise. Tale as old as time. And they're dancing around the ballroom. You know, song as old as rhyme. Beauty and the Beast. And then it's just passing, you know, it's just like going around the camera. And then she looks at the little Chip. She goes, Chip, it's past your bedtime. And she takes him to bed, right? Belle and the Beast walk out to a balcony. They sit. Belle, are you happy here with me? Yes. But she looks really sad, right? He goes, what is it? I just want to see my father again. I miss him so much. There is a way. He takes her upstairs. He hands her the mirror. This will show you anything you want to see. Thank you. She does that, by the way.
Yeah,
really gross.
Her stomach growls. And she burps.
And he goes.
And it really takes you out of the moment.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Also brings you in the moment. Like, wow, this movie's, I guess, realistic.
Yeah, like, wow, they did the wow, I guess.
Yeah. So, I'd like to see my father, please. And she's all happy. And then right when it shows her dad, and he's passed out in the woods, like under the snow, like just out. And the music just changes immediately, which I really like. Oh, man, what a great tone shift. You know what I mean? Because from that scene to that, she's like, oh, Father, you know? And then she's like, I got to go help him. He may be dying. He's all alone. And then the Beast, he looks at the rose. Go to him. And she's like, what did you say? I release you. You're no longer my prisoner. I'm free? Thank you. Thank you. Hold on, Papa. I'm on my way. And then she goes to give him the mirror. And he's like, no, take it with you so you can always remember me. Thank you for understanding. She rubs his face and she takes off running. Cogsworth comes in and he's bragging about like, oh, Master, the night couldn't have gone any more perfect. You were dancing, you were singing, it was beautiful. And then he goes, I let her go. Wait, what? How could you? I had to. But why, Master? Because I love her. It cuts to Cogsworth now. He's telling everyone else, all the other staff. And they all just go, he did what? Right? And then Cogsworth tells him what he said. And then Miss Pot goes, after all this time, he learned to love. And then the Luminaire goes, well, that should break the spell, no? And then she goes, no, it's not enough. She must love him back. And then as this is happening, the little Chip, he sneaks off, okay? So the Chip, the cup. The little cup. He sneaks off. So it cuts to upstairs. You see the Beast all sad, and he looks out the window, and then you see her riding off on Philippe. Right? And then as she's riding off, the Beast roars. Right? She rides off. So she finally finds her papa somewhere in the woods. He's passed out. She picks him up, put him on the horse, and then she takes him home. As she's taking him up the stairs into the house, LeFou is pretending to be a snowman, you know? And then he knocks all the snow off, and he's like, I got him. They're back. And then he goes off running. Right. You know what I mean? So Papa finally wakes, and he's like, Belle, what are you doing? I thought I'd never see you again. And she goes, it's okay. He goes, the Beast. How did you escape? How'd you get out of there? She goes, he let me go, Papa. That horrible Beast let you go? No, he's different. He changed. He's a good guy. And then she goes, right then, the Chip, the little cup, he rolls out of her bag. She goes, Chip, what are you doing here, little stowaway? And then he's like, I just wanted to see you guys. And then the little guy's like, hey, little fella, didn't think I'd see you again. And then he looks at the little Chip guy's like, Belle, why'd you go away? She's like, I'm sorry. He goes, did you not like us anymore? And she goes, she's about to answer him, and then knock at the door, right? And then don't you just love how this movie moves, bro? The pacing.
It's constant. You're never like, there's never a wasted moment.
Never.
It's great.
So she opens the door. It's the old creepy guy.
Right.
Okay. And then he goes, I've come to collect your father. And she's like, what? And then she looks out, and then he has a whole pitchfork army behind him. You know what I mean? Like, was it a mob? Like, yeah. Right? And they all got their fucking candles and pitchforks and shit. And then she's like, what? What are you talking about? And then a guy goes, the LeFou guy goes, tell us about the Beast, Maurice. He was huge with fangs, and he was maybe 12 feet tall. And then as he's doing that, the old man goes, get him. You know what I mean? And then they all like pick him up and they go to take him away. And then he's like, no, you can't do this. You have to believe me. And then she's like, no, that's my father. And then right then, Gaston walks up. Poor Belle. Shame about your father. You know, I could clear this up. Just marry me. One little word, Belle.
Oh, are you sure he's not Harvey Weinstein?
dude, Gaston is not fucking around.
Yeah.
And then she goes, never, I'll never marry you. Have it your way. Take him away. You know what I mean? And then she runs inside, right? And then she comes back out and she goes, he isn't crazy. I can prove it. She grabs the mirror. Show me the beast. And then she holds up the mirror and the beast is like, raw. He's still yelling at the house. And then he heads back down and he's all sad. The beast is all sad. And then everybody's like, oh! And then people are like, is he dangerous? And she's like, no, he's kind and gentle. He's my friend. And then Gaston goes, no, and he grabs the mirror. He's like, what, he sounds like you have feelings for this monster. She's crazy as the old man. And then he's like, look at this beast. He'll kill your kids. We aren't safe until his head is on my wall. And everybody's like, yeah. And then the sound starts singing, we aren't safe until he's dead. Bro, right? And then he goes, he'll wreak havoc on our village and he'll do this, all these things until we until we kill him and set ourselves free. And it's like, and then the guy, Gaston goes, it's time to take action, boys. It's time to follow me. And then everybody's like, yeah, they grab all their forks and shit. And then he goes, through the mist, through the shadows, we are coming for the beast. And we are for you. And we're coming and they're going. Bro, it goes hard, right? Yeah. And they all got their forks and shit. And everybody in the town's like, as they're passing by, and he's like, he's a beast, he's a dog, we will kill him in his sleep. Kill the beast! Da-da, kill the beast! Da-da, kill the beast! And then they're chopping down a tree, and they're carrying it right to bash in the door.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they get up all the way to the castle doors, and then hold on.
Ooh.
Where are we at?
Man, this is an intense place to lose your place.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh man, they make it to the castle doors really quick.
Oh no! Right before they do that, right before they make it, because right before that they go and chop down the tree. They tell the guys to lock up Belle and the father. We don't want them warning the creature. You know what I mean? And they who's with me? And the town's like, yeah. So they lock up Belle and the dad in a basement.
It's so funny that they had no idea where there's a beast, but they know exactly where he lives.
You're like, man, I wonder what that cat was in that fucking castle.
Yeah, the beast doesn't exist. He exists. It must be in that castle. Nowhere else in the woods with wolves.
Good fucking point. So, oh god, they lock them down, right?
Right.
And so they go up to the castle. They chop down a tree. The objects in the house see the invaders and they're like, oh, we must warn the master. And so all the objects in the house, they're singing and trying to get ready to, they're like, they want to fight, there's a fight. They're all coming down the stairs like, fuck them, we'll fight back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is awesome, right?
Yeah, I'm about to go to war with appliances, bro.
Appliances, dude.
That's badass.
So Gaston, he gets to the front and he goes, steal what you want, but the beast is mine. Let's kill the beast. And then they start bashing down the door, right? So the Luminaire goes up and he's like, master, the castle is under attack. And then no, the Cogsworth tells him, and he doesn't say anything. And then the candle comes down, he's downstairs and he comes up with a plan, right, for everybody. And then upstairs he's like, what should we do, master? And then the beast is like, it doesn't matter. Let them come. And the Cogsworth's like, and then right then downstairs people bust in and it's completely quiet. All the appliances are hidden. And then they walk in. And then you hear Luminaire go, no! And then all the objects start fucking these people up, bro. I mean, the closet, nigga, up, nigga, the broom, the Ottoman dog, nigga, the motherfucking cameras and lights, the mic stands, nigga, everybody's getting to work. You know what I mean? Just beating their ass, dog. The rake. I mean, it's crazy. It's also funny, too, to see all these things beat the shit out of humans.
That's funny.
So, Chip, it cuts back to them in the basement. They're like, how are we going to get out of here, right? And then you see Chip, and he is on the machine. Remember the invention?
Right.
He's on that machine, and he's fucking with it to get it all started. You know what I mean? And then he uses it, and he plows it into the basement that they're in. Just fucking crashes it into it and busts the whole thing down.
Chip is that badass,
Come
dude.
on, bro. Right? And he busts it all down. And that they cut back to the house. It's having a full-on battle. Like the teapots are all pouring hot water on everybody and shit. And then Gaston, he goes off and he goes looking for the beast on his own. So LeFou, he's about to melt the candle with a big fire thing. And then Cogsworth, he sees this and he fucking flies down the stairs with a pair of scissors and stabs the nigga in the ass. So as he stabs him in the ass and the cockroach goes off like to go like do other shit, the candle notices the broom that he fucks getting like all her feathers pulled out, and then he goes and he sets that nigga on fire. Bro, it's a crazy fight scene. Like it's a legitimate crazy ass like Anchorman level fight scene. Bro.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is wild.
Yeah,
This is big.
The guy was on fire.
Yeah, the guy.
Like some Anchorman's like what? So
yeah, you gotta lay low for a while, huh? Huh, Lumineer?
So all the people they're trying to kill the Ottoman dog, and the stove is fucking them up. And then finally, all the people run out, and all the objects are cheering like, "We won, we won!" So Gaston, he finally upstairs, he comes up on the beast, and he loads up his bow and arrow, and then the beast looks at him, and the beast just goes, like looks away, like he doesn't give a fuck, and he shoots him, and the beast goes ah, and then he runs and he tackles him out a window, right, and he fucking punches him, and then he throws him down a whole flight of the house, right.
He's throwing the beast down,
yeah, and he's like, what's the matter, beast? Too kind and gentle to fight back. And then he breaks off a piece of stone, right? And he goes to beat the shit out of the beast with it. And then right then you hear Belle go, no, Gaston, don't. And then you hear the beast go, Belle? And then he looks up and he sees her and he smiles. And then he comes to and he grabs the fucking stone right before it hits him. And then now him and Gaston are like fighting across the rooftop. You know what I mean? And they're fighting. And they get separated for a second, and the beast like hides amongst all the gargoyles that are on the roof. You know, like those gargoyles that are on the roof always?
Yeah.
So he's hiding amongst them. And so the Gaston's like breaking the heads off of him, right? Like looking for him. And he goes, were you in love with her, beast? You honestly think she could love you when she could have someone like me? And then right then the beast grabs him, right? And then they fight more, and he goes, Belle is mine. And then beast grabs him by the throat and then holds him off the side. Like of the cliff. And he goes, no, wait, no, please. Right? And then he's begging for us, like, please, don't kill me, please, oh God, don't do this. And then he's pissed. And then the beast looks down. He calms. And then he brings him back in and he drops him.
Whoa, okay. Quick pause. Look, guys, if somebody's trying to kill you and you have the upper hand, and you have the upper hand, and then they beg for your life, the only reason they're doing that is so that they can fuck you over again and try to kill you. Because people who are trying to kill you are trying to kill you.
Bro, if I was trying to kill you, and then you were about to kill me, I'm probably my last resort. I mean, that's all it's to the point now where it's like, oh, you're about to kill me. I'm probably going to beg for my life.
And then the second you turn your back.
Do you don't think I'm not? What?
Yeah.
We're boys now?
Yeah. What? So anyways, how does Gaston fuck over the beast?
So he drops him.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Right? And then he looks up and he sees Belle. Okay? And then like he goes up, like climbing up to her, right? She's like farther up, right? He goes and he climbs up to her. And then he climbs up to her, right?
Yeah.
And then he gets all the way up to her, and then he reaches his hand out to her, and they embrace. You know what I mean? And she's like, he goes, you came back. And then right where he says that, he goes, Rah! And then it's Gaston on his back, and he has a huge knife in him, right? And then he pulls it out, and he flips the knife, and he leans back, and the beast kind of leans back like, Rah! And then Gaston's about to stab again. He goes, whoa, 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 and he falls off the beast and falls to his death. And then right as the beast is about to fall, she grabs him and then pulls him back in, right?
Yeah.
Back over the ledge. So the beast comes back over the ledge, and he's like, she's got him on the ground. And then she goes, you came back. And he goes, he's like, you came back. She's like, of course I came back. This is all my fault. If I'd have got here sooner. And then he goes, maybe it's better this way. And she's like, no, don't you talk like that. You'll be all right. Don't you talk like that. And then he grabs her and he goes, at least I got to see you one last time. And his eyes roll back and he drops, right? She goes, no, please don't leave me. I love you. And then right there, one last petal falls. And then all the house workers are looking at the petal, and then they all start crying. You know what I mean? And then it starts raining, and she's holding him. And then you see a pink lightning strike. Then a blue one. Red, orange. all these colors. And she's like, what the fuck? And then he starts rising up and glowing, right? She's like, and then he rises up and all these colors are shooting out of him. And then his hands start rising up and they start turning back into human hands. And then light shoots out. And then his other hand, light shoots out. Then his face, and you can't really see him, light shoots out. And then his feet, light shoots out. And then he gets wrapped around his own cloak, right? And then and then you see him kind of turn back to a human, and then he falls back down to the ground. You know what I mean? And she's like, and then he gets up and he looks and he turns, and he's the most beautiful white man you've ever seen with those beautiful blue eyes.
Jesus.
And he goes, Belle, it's me. And then she grabs him and she grabs his hair. And she looks in his eyes. It is you. And then they kiss. And then more lights. And then fireworks right over the castle. And then as the fireworks happen, and then all the lights from the fireworks fall, like all that, the castle changes like back to like a beautiful, fresh, brand new castle.
Right.
And then all the objects start
fresh
changing.
Castle. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fresh ass, like Cribs kind of castle.
Yeah.
You know? And then all the objects start changing back and shit. And then you see a guy, the candle and shit, they look at each other like, Miss Potts. And Miss Potts is an old ass lady, and she sees her son who's like a fucking little kid, which makes no sense. Yeah. And then she's like, look at us, it's a miracle. And then the broom walks in and him and the candle, and they start kissing. And then Cogsworth, he interrupts the kissing, and then she's like, oh, I'm just glad to see that you're back to normal, old friend. Glad to see you're back to normal. He's like, I just wanted to say that, you know, I was the one who said that, you know, we would eventually be back to normal. And he's like, I mean, yeah, you said it, but I did say first that we would eventually be back to normal. I mean, yeah, you said it, but I said it. And then they just fist fight.
That's funny.
Straight up fist fight. The moment they get turned back to people,
that's funny.
They fist fight, bro.
People don't change.
Oh, of course not. And then
oh man, we're so close.
I know.
I believe in you. What happens?
Oh, so the
be funny if he still had the knife wound in his back and he died still.
Oh my god, that would be funny.
How hilarious would that be? All this for nothing.
So the little chip asked, he goes, Mama, are they going to live happily ever after? Of course, my dear. Of course. Do I still have to sleep in the cupboard, though? And then everybody laughs. And then Belle and Beast, they're dancing around the room, and everyone was watching. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, Beauty and the Beast, and it kind of fades out, and you see this like the stained glass mirror, and it's of them. Beauty and the Beast. Thanks, buddy.
It was well done. Very well done.
Yeah?
Yes.
I had a lot of fun on that one.
Yeah, I could tell. You were in it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Didn't need the script a lot.
Yeah, that was great.
Beauty and the Beast, man. What a movie.
Yeah, great songs.
Great songs.
Yeah.
Great action. Tight. No, absolutely. I mean, when I say no fat, I mean, dude, this movie is 100% no body fat. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy that this is a good movie to choose just because of like what Disney did this week and just how much they've changed as a company.
Yeah, they did, huh?
Whereas like they were in this animated classic zone, and now they're just like acquiring everything. It's so interesting.
Yeah, and now also they're remaking everything. I mean, I can't wait to see this Aladdin. You've seen all the Aladdins, right?
I've seen the original, and I think I've seen either 2 or 3. They had one of like the Prince of 40 Thieves.
That's the third one.
That's that
Aladdin
one.
2 is the Return of Jafar.
I think I've seen that one, but
that
I
one's
can't
great.
remember.
They're all great. I love all three.
The
Return of Jafar is the shit.
The first one I really remember. The second one I don't remember.
The first one is Aladdin. It's
Yeah.
just like The Lion King or you know anything.
Yeah.
But this movie,
How was the live action remake of this?
The shittiest movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
The shittiest movie I've ever seen. Oh, the homegirl can't sing. Main girl from
Emma
Hermione.
Watson?
Yeah.
Yeah, she can't sing, and they had her sing.
Yeah, she can't sing.
Oh.
They had to auto-tune her. It sounded weird.
Yeah, hire someone who can sing.
Little town, wow, so a quiet village.
Yeah.
Why does it sound like this? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
why not just do?
They had classically trained singers in this one.
Yeah, why not just do the Bollywood thing? Because what Bollywood does is that they just have the actor just lip sync and have a real singer.
Yeah. I wonder what they're gonna do with the Aladdin one, because I know that Will Smith's gonna be actually like singing and rapping. I mean, I liked Moana because it was actual singing and the songs are okay. Coco's, the songs are good, but I mean, they don't make them like this, bro. This Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Lion King.
That zone of Disney movie is kind of over.
Is insane though. Yeah. I mean, because now to me the best if your Disney movie has songs and I'm not really into it. Like now I'm into way more of the Zootopia. Like the only movies that I would compare to these level of movies that are coming out now,
in terms of
good movies are the Zootopias, the Inside Outs, the How to Train Your Dragon, Wreck-It Ralphs. I mean, those are great movies. I love these movies as well. Everyone I just named, I love those movies. But these ones, man, with the songs, and these ones aren't too like as long. These ones are way shorter. There's no fat in any of these, like the Lion Kings. These movies are just, and these movies are timeless. I can show my kids can show their kids can show their kids. This is a kids movie forever, and it's always perfect.
And that's Beauty and the Beast.